90% of millionaires became so through owning real estate. Well, this famous quote by historical entrepreneur Andrew Carnegie is as true today as it was 100 years ago. And the biggest misconception in the real estate space is that you need a lot of money to start. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 ways on how you can get started without any money. And I'm speaking from personal experience. So the first way on how you can get started in the real estate space is by becoming a real estate agent. I know it kind of sounds obvious and it may be not what you were expecting, but becoming a real estate agent is the perfect gateway into real estate investing and later real estate endeavors. It's also what I'm doing right now, so I can perfectly speak from personal experience. And yes, it takes some time. So it doesn't really matter if you're still in university, if you're still in school, or if you maybe work another job. You can always easily work as a real estate agent part-time. You can only work on the weekends, or you might be able to get an internship or work as a trainee at one of your local real estate offices. And in general, that's what I would recommend. So the perfect thing is if you type in on Google real estate agents near me, and then you just call all of them up and ask if they're looking for an intern. Although this takes quite a lot of time, you have so many benefits. First of all, you can actually start making a good amount of money. Like once you actually sell properties, you sell flats, you sell houses, then you can really start making a substantial amount of money, which may fund your later real estate endeavors. As well, you build local real estate knowledge, and you also build a local network of realtors, of investors, and you just get the feel of the space. You can learn from other investors, other realtors. There are some major benefits if you start working as a real estate agent. First of all, you get substantial expertise in your local market. You know the ins and outs of real estate investing. You also start building some capital, and the last thing is you start building a big network. And trust me, in the real estate space, a big network is the most important thing you can have. And a network comes in real handy for the next real estate money-making method. So the next money-making method I have for you in the real estate space without any money is being a real estate wholesaler, or basically like a deal maker. A wholesaler or real estate wholesaler is somebody who enters into a buying contract for a property without actually owning it and selling it to somebody else, or basically giving that contract to somebody else for a substantial fee. So your main job as a wholesaler is to find motivated sellers. You need to find people that need to urgently sell their home, their property, their flats, or whatever. And you can find those sellers especially with distressed properties. So what you need is to find foreclosure lists, you need maybe people that are in financial difficulties, or houses or flats that need significant repairs. And you can find those people by just let's say you can start by driving through your neighborhood, walking through your neighborhood, and you can see, okay, there's some distressed properties. Maybe it already says foreclosure, or you can find signs of for sale by owner. And all of these people you can just contact. You can knock on the door, you can hand them a letter, you can cold call them if you find the phone number on True People Search, for example. And of course, you can also start marketing campaigns once you have the budget for it. So for example, you can have on the streets, and you can have banner ads, for example, or you just print a lot of flyers. That's also a thing that I did. You print like 500 flyers and you walk around your neighborhood, put those flyers everywhere in all the mailboxes, and after a while, trust me, you will get some callbacks. What you really need to be looking for is people that want to sell their house for cash. It doesn't need to be physical cash, it can also be a bank transfer, but people that really need to sell their house as fast as possible. So once you've actually found a buyer, you found a property where the owner really needs to sell the property. And that's where the hard part starts. Because what you need to do is evaluate the worth of the property. You actually need to negotiate a lower price than that. And let's say, okay, the property is worth $150,000. And if you manage, for example, to get a contract with them for $140,000 or $130,000, the lower the better, obviously. But let's say the property is worth $150,000 and you manage to get a contract with them that says, okay, you can buy the property for $130K. Now you just need to find a buyer that's actually gonna buy the property. A perfect way to find buyers is, let's say, on Facebook groups. You can just go on Facebook and go to investor groups, go to local wholesaling groups, or just type in real estate group, maybe Austin, Texas, or London, UK. And I'm sure you find a lot of groups on Facebook with investors. And of course, you can also what I definitely recommend is list the house on Facebook Marketplace. So let's say if you have the property under contract for 130,000, you can list it on Facebook Marketplace, for example, for 135,000 or 140,000, and you can keep the difference. What you also can do is go to your local real estate agents and offer them a deal. Let's say if they can find a buyer for your property for 140,000, they get 5K, for example, yeah? And then you can split the 10K difference between each other. So one of the biggest disadvantages here with real estate wholesaling is that it does take a lot of time. I mean, you don't have any money to start, or you have a very low budget, so time is basically all you have. Time is your best currency. Real estate wholesaling is an easy way to make a couple of grand. And if you do deals from time to time, and you do more deals, and after a while you have the money saved up in order to really start real estate investing, or you can start investing into your own marketing for your wholesaling business. Now the last method I want to show you today is Airbnb arbitrage. And to be fair, right now I haven't done it yet, but in the future there will be a video about Airbnb arbitrage in about 1 to 2 months. I'll show you how to do Airbnb arbitrage myself, but now let's get into the method. So what exactly is Airbnb arbitrage? Well, basically all it does is you rent an apartment from a landlord or from the owner directly. You rent the apartment and you re-rent it on Airbnb or booking.com for short-term rentals. Obviously, if you think of Airbnb, you basically think of, okay, maybe you're in a big city and you only have tourists. And what I also learned from another investor is that there are 3 big areas with Airbnb. The first one obviously is tourism. So in big cities, also in smaller cities where there are a lot of tourists. The second one is people travel for personal reasons. Maybe a friend of them is getting married, or they just need to visit their family, they visit their relatives, and those would be personal reasons. And the last one is business reasons, yeah? Business reasons. Those are the most important ones, and those are the ones we want to focus on, because business is all year round. It's not seasonal, and business basically almost works everywhere. Even if you're in a small city, you can at least have one apartment. So in general, when you are looking or thinking of your first Airbnb property, there are 3 things you really need to make sure that you got them. First of all, make sure that you can host at least 4 people, yeah? So maybe you have 1 double bed and 1 sleeping sofa, or 1 sofa bed, for example, that can host an additional 2 people. So the second thing is, make it a bit cheaper than all the hotels and motels around you. Let's say you are in an area, look at the hotels, how much do they charge per night? And now make your stay for 2 people a bit cheaper than hotels. The next thing is, you need basement storage, or you need something where you can store like towels, sheets, maybe coffee pots, and things like that nearby the property. So a basement storage, or maybe a small storage unit very close to apartment is exceptional. Otherwise, you need to have like a closet inside of the apartment that's locked. That's never a good thing. And also make sure you have a parking spot for your visitors. So now let's focus on the business niche. That's my recommendation to you, and that's also what I'm going to be doing in my hometown here. And for the business niche, it's perfect because it's all year round. And what you want is you need to find an apartment that's near like business parks, near office buildings, near conference centers, near event locations. Basically where there are a lot of businesses, and preferably some international companies or companies that have international guests, have international employees, where you just know, okay, there are people traveling in and out. And if you have an apartment in between a business park, in a business block, or basically in like the business area, then I guarantee you there will be a lot of business people traveling for business. And a major benefit, and something you definitely need in your Airbnb, is a desk setup. So you need a specific office desk in your apartment with, let's say, a screen and a mousepad and a keyboard. And the biggest advantage here with Airbnb arbitrage is that you can make 3 to 4 times as much money in comparison to a normal traditional rental. One of the points that I need to mention for Airbnb arbitrage, you need some capital to work with. So let's say maybe you have made your first wholesaling deal, or you have some money in the bank saved up, or maybe you can ask some family members, because for the Airbnb arbitrage model, you need somewhere between 3 to 5K in order to start. You need to pay the first rent, the first month rent before, and then you need a safety deposit, and you need like furniture, appliances, Wi-Fi, and stuff like that. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye bye.